Hey guys, how's it going? This is a channel update. I was gone all of November, pretty much. Filming for the Game Chasers movie has officially wrapped, so principal photography is finished. That does not mean the movie is done, though. The movie is probably estimated to be coming out the summer of this next year, so I'm looking forward to that. This was actually quite a huge experience. It was nothing like I thought it was going to be coming in. I was kind of going in thinking it was going to be like making a YouTube video, but it was not. Making a movie is such an interesting experience, especially when you're worried about learning a script that's like 120 pages long. So generally, what the set was like day one when we came in, I was like, okay, what are we going to even have a set? Is there going to be, extras? Is there going to be, how's the lighting going to be? Do we have to set anything up? And I was amazed, honestly, with how big the crew of people that we had on set working on this. From the sound guys, we had Alejandro, and we also had a guy named Robbie that were providing the boom and also putting like lapel mics and lavs and stuff on us and monitoring the sound just for the scenes. And then we had a camera crew that had like Ali, Peter, Odette, and the Jared and a couple other people that came on. They kind of had like a rotating staff. On top of that, we had Chris Vaughn, who was like the gaffer. They were in charge of making sure the scenes were lit well enough, or any kind of like lighting effects that needed to be done, like lightning effects or anything that to make it look like moonlight outside and stuff like that. He had about a crew of like 4 people alone. And then on top of that, we also had other people, like people helping transport, certain elements of the set, certain vehicles. We had the art department with Mo and Mandy. We had the ADs. We had both Larissa there, Rudy there, Christine there. So we had like a good staff of about 30 to 40 at a time every single day. And I was not expecting that. I honestly just thought it was going to be like a camera guy and somebody holding like a boom mic, and that was it. So the first lesson I learned right from the beginning was that this wasn't YouTube anymore. So I was really, really impressed with how professional and how expert the crew was on set. Like, it really felt like we were making a movie, which, looking at some of the raw footage and some of like the early like drafts and sneak peeks that I've seen so far, it looks phenomenal on camera. Now, there was a huge crew, but there was also a decent sized staff as well. Going into this experience, it was interesting to see people that were actually that actually came in from a casting agency that auditioned, and these guys were actors that have been in short films and films before, commercials, things like that. Seeing guys like David and Jamie and Michelle and a few others. There was probably about like eight to 10 people who actually had acting experience that came on the set. So there was a lot of bits and pieces that I didn't notice even went into making a movie. For example, like Leon, who's like the visual effects guy, not CGI, but like actual visual effects, just adding atmosphere, like a haze to around the scene to make the camera presentation look better, like not so heavy, kind of like lighten it up a little bit. He came all the way from the United Kingdom, and he actually just finished working on Maleficent 2 not even too long ago. He was Justice League, he was Game of Thrones. So, we had people that have had some serious experience, guys that had Game of Thrones, guys coming in that have worked on The Walking Dead and Captain America. We have a guy that's worked on Avatar and several other types of people that have such a huge resume. And I honestly thought that was like pretty impressive going in. Like, I was like starstruck at those people that helped us on the movie. So if any of you guys that were in the crew were watching this like right now, thank you. Thank you so much for helping validate and legitimize what we were going to be doing. If it wasn't for you guys, then none of this movie would have probably been even half of good as a turnout as of what it's looking like now. Like, even Clint, he was doing DTI stuff and helping, back up all of the files and stuff. Like, we had so many terabytes of footage just rolled out, and we managed to shoot this movie in 17 days, and it's not rushed. People might think, oh, that was actually rather quick, but it was 3 weeks of 6 days every week for 12 hours. So we're doing like 12-hour days. If we went in at 5 a.m., we didn't leave till 5 p.m. Or if we went in at 12 noon, we didn't leave till midnight. And that was actually something else that I learned. Rudy, the first AD, told us that he generally makes his cast and crew on set work for 11 to 12 hours. I guess it's like a industry standard. I didn't know that. I was like expecting like 8-hour days or just whatever we filmed. Like a lot of times when you look at the call sheet, you get the call sheet like the night before, 8 hours before the set, and you're reading who's going to be there and what scenes you're going to be filming, and you get your sides, which are like what kind of lines you have to read in the scene and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, we're only shooting 2 scenes tomorrow. But then you think, okay, we're gonna get out by noon. We're going in at 8. There's no reason why we're gonna be not done by noon. But then you learn there's so much going into actually filming one scene. One thing that I learned is that, let's say, for example, you're starting a scene, you have to get a wide establishing shot to put you in that environment. So, like, for example, if you're at a like a downtown environment, you get the establishing shot so you know that you're in downtown. Then you get a wide of like most of the characters are going to be interacting. Then you get a close, you get like coverage of each character. So let's say there's 4 people in your scene. You get one shot of just one character's face doing all the dialogue while everybody else interacts with them. Then you get like a 2 shot where 2 people might be talking, and then another coverage, and then you kind of, so you had stuff to play around with and edit and fix up. Like, I didn't think how freaking much work it goes into making maybe even like a 1-minute scene be edited. There's so much that it goes into. So many times when we were just on set changing the setups, for example, we had a dolly shot, which is where the camera's like on a rail and it's on a moving platform, and Peter would move it very slowly, and it gives that effect. Like, maybe like, you know, like for example, if you're sitting on a couch with like 4 other people, you get a wide shot of the room and the camera just kind of like slowly paces and moves across. It was just so interesting to see how movie magic was done with just the camera alone. And this camera was huge. It was a big camera that had like so many different lenses and stuff on it. So it was a huge learning experience. And again, it was a lot of hustle, a lot of work, a lot of stuff. Like for example, the weather. Like at one point, like week 1 and 2, it was like 25 degrees outside and raining, and we had to film. So come hell or high water, you know, everything that could have happened, you know, like the car breaking down and stuff like that happened, but we managed to have a great team, a great crew that got it done. And these guys were legit. They told us on day 1 that the movie was going to be shot and finished in 17 days, and they were not wrong. It was such an amazing experience, though, and I'm sure you guys are kind of questioning certain ways of why things were done and like that. Trust me, I felt probably the same exact way you guys feel coming in. Like, oh, 17 days is a rush. How are we going to memorize a script? Stuff like that. But it got done. And we had a great cast, a great crew, and I absolutely cannot wait for anybody to see this. Like, I want to share this to the mountains. As a matter of fact, if you want to order a Blu-ray of the movie still, there's an Indiegogo. I'll put a link down below in the description. This movie's going to shock some people, I think, because people are going to go in expecting maybe a full-length Game Chasers episode, or maybe even like something that's in kin to like the animated series that we have, or stuff that's just kind of, I guess, slapstick, snowball and stuff. And this is kind of like a comedy, a buddy comedy, a friend comedy, a road trip movie. But it's going to be something more than you could have even like expected out of anybody. I think Billy, who was working himself to the bone, even to this day, like he literally didn't take a rest day. Like the next day, he was already starting to edit this movie. I think he worked himself to the bone, but you got to admire what Billy can really do and how dedicated he was to this. And you know, like I'm very proud that he got to finally do this project that has been waiting in the wings for over 2 years. Like, this had so much planning behind it. 2 years, lots of talking, lots of discussion, lots of like talking to people, reaching out to people. The whole process just felt like it was like, it took longer than that. It felt like we've been doing this for 5 years to get it done. And it was such a cool feeling when wrap up happened and we all gathered around and kind of like celebrated and gave each other hugs and told bye to each other. Like it was tough. It was sad saying bye to like the crew that helped us make this movie, but I've made a lot of friends over the last 3 weeks, and these people are phenomenal, and I will never ever forget this experience, guys. So I just kind of wanted to ramble about it a little bit and let you guys know that it was a fun experience. I know that some people are like, Eric, how did you manage to get over a month off from work? Well, luckily my job has me pick up shifts as they come available, and I don't have to work if I don't want to. So I made sure in August and September and early October that I worked as many shifts possible as I can to make up and get myself a little nest egg with the job, because I get like $100 a day when I work a shift. I made sure I had a nice little nest egg to where I was going to be okay, because I really wanted to help Billy and Jay out with putting this movie together. This was like a once in a lifetime experience that I will always remember. And I want to just thank everybody that has pledged to the Kickstarter. Without you guys, this wouldn't have happened, because, oh man, that 133,000. The Larissa herself and Jay and Billy made sure that it was used wisely and like as best as we can. Like there was people that were working on the crew that were like, wow, you guys are doing a lot for just 133K. Like it's really amazing how much this movie's going along and how well it's looking together and stuff. Like I'm telling you guys, I absolutely cannot wait for you guys to check this movie out, because I'm very proud of it. I had my doubts going in a little bit because I was like nervous. It was a lot of uncertainty. Didn't know what was going on, but I'm always going to have my friends' backs, especially like Billy and Jay's back, no matter what endeavor they choose to do and stuff. And we did it. So congrats to everybody, cast and crew. Special thanks to everybody that has pledged. And if you're going to eventually get a Blu-ray, again, there's a link down below. Thank you in advance for that. And thanks to everybody for all their support and helping promote this, because if it wasn't for any of you guys, I wouldn't even have the opportunity to do this, and I'm absolutely a nobody. So the fact that I even had people that wanted me to be a part of a huge project like this really meant a lot to me. So thanks to Billy and Jay for putting me in such a prominent role on this movie. I had a lot of fun, and I can't wait. So thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Peace out. And thanks again.